Hey, what's going on there, fellow delinquents? Mischief here, and I got another Taran Tactical Innovations product for you. And this one is one that I purchased for myself, and I wanted to get more into PCC, get a little bit more serious about it. And when I saw the TR-9 come out, I ordered one, and it came in a while ago. I think I've had this for about a year now. So this is the TR-9. Originally, I had this set up with an ACOG and a 45-degree mounted Aimpoint T2, and the setup worked okay. However, I think LPVOs is a lot more efficient for the size and weight and how much you're going to spend on it. I mean, the ACOG is going to be like $900 plus the mount. If you want to get a different mount, which I did end up getting a different mount, and then the Aimpoint T2, I mean, you're looking at like $600 to $700 for the optic if you can find one on sale, and then you got to find an angle mount for that. It's just a lot of money, and at the end of the day, it's just a very complicated setup. This right here, I'm using a Nightforce 4x24. This is a 30mm tube, LPVO with a very simple crosshair reticle. And I like that for like a 9mm PCC because you're not really intending to shoot this thing that far. I mean, most of your targets are going to be very up close, probably like between 5, maybe 10, 15, 20 yards. And then if you might run into like the occasional 50 to 100 yard shot. And this one right here goes up to 4 power. However, I don't think the 4 power is very useful. One thing I don't like about this design is where they put right here, this screw right here. This is where they're supposed to put the little the little knob so that you can actually get more leverage and fine tune it. And so they have it so right now it's underneath, and then you literally would not be able to have that little throw lever right there. So I might have to come up with something else for a throw lever. Maybe I'll have an aftermarket one that just clips around the outside, and then you can turn it like that. But yeah, the 4 power, it's just kind of, that's very difficult for me to get to in this setup. So I did zero it with the 4x power, and I just leave it at 1 power, and I just run it like that. Most of the time, a lot of PCC matches I've done that I've had very good success with, I just ran a red dot. And a lot of the people that I see using PCCs in competition, they're just all running red dots. And so I think that right there might be a better way for you to go. As far as going to PCC, you don't really need an LPVO, but it's kind of nice to have a couple extra features. So this particular Nightforce model right here, they stopped making this. I think this might be the NXS model. I could be wrong. This one does not have the zero stop, but it doesn't need the zero stop. I'm not going to be doing long range adjustments to justify having a zero stop. The zero stop is basically you zero the rifle, you zero the optic to the rifle, and once you got that zero down, you would use the zero stop to lock it in place, and then if you do make any windage or elevation adjustments to that zero, instead of having to fine tune and figure out how many clicks to go back, you just turn it until it stops. That's the zero stop. This one doesn't have that, doesn't really need it. I'm not making any adjustments on the fly. Another cool feature about this is that it does take Glock mags. Now, what kind of Glock mags? Any double stack 9mm Glock mag. I mean any double stack. You thinking a Glock 26 mag? No way. No, it does fit in there. And even locks back on the last round. So yes, if you do have some Glock 26 mags, you can throw it in here and it will run. Now for ammunition, I'm just using some of this Magtech steel cased ammunition. This is what I used to zero the rifle initially. I know it's like steel cased ammunition, it's actually slightly underpowered stuff, but it's perfectly fine. It's not going to hurt the rifle or anything. And it's actually shooting this pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shoot at 100. I got 5 rounds there. There goes the box. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, so we can go. There we go. Now we can see it. It's kind of high in the shadow. All right, 5 out of 5. So, yeah. So this particular rifle right here, you'll notice I have the fixed Magpul carbine stock right here. I like this setup, partly because I don't want to fiddle around with it. So this right here is a very low profile, very slick setup right here, where you're not really like trying to grab something and trying to adjust the stock to your perfect length of pull, which most of the time you're not really going to be adjusting the stock anyway. You're going to find out where you want it and you're just going to leave it there. So this right here is a very pick up and go. This length of pull is a little bit short. It's a little bit short than where I like it. However, what I like about that shortness about it is that my shooting style, I don't really shoot with a very bladed stance. I shoot with a very shoulder forward stance, a very squared off stance. And so pushing my shoulder forward allows me to really push that rifle forward to help with the recoil. And also, the shorter the stock is, the more it allows me to reach forward towards the end of the barrel, and that allows me to control the recoil a little bit better. So I usually like grabbing the barrel shroud right about here. So yeah, that's probably about where I want it. Let's go ahead and put 10 rounds at 100 yards and see how we can group. All right, let's go down and take a look. Okay, so obviously it's not a 5.56 rifle, but I think the fact that we even got all 10 on there is impressive. So about 5 inch. So just under 6 inches overall. So here we are at 200 yards. And we got this big, huge piece of steel right here. So this one, you're looking at 18 inches by about 30 inches tall. So 18 wide, 30 inches tall. That's a pretty big target for 200 yards. Right here, we got an 8-inch circle. We got a 6-inch circle. And this one, we got a 4-inch circle. So with a normal rifle, this wouldn't be very impressive. However, when you're talking about way over there, and you're talking about a 9mm cartridge reaching out and touching this distance, I mean, it's unbelievable. It would be very unbelievable. So let's go ahead and we're going to engage these targets right here and just see what we can do. Now, one thing to keep in mind about this reticle is that this optic right here is a second focal plane. This is not a first focal plane. Oh, why does that matter? Well, the most important thing about a second focal plane is the reticle does not change size when you zoom in and out. You're probably wondering, well, what difference does that make? It actually makes a huge difference. You see, with a red dot, the red dot stays the same size regardless of what the distance is, and it's got no magnification. So with this reticle right here, even though I zoomed in, that reticle stays the same size, but the picture gets bigger. So now, instead of covering up a certain amount of space with the reticle at 1x, it's actually covered up less because the target is bigger, but the reticle is still the same size. So this makes it extremely difficult for you to judge drop. However, I think I might have figured out where on this reticle to actually hold. This right here is a simple crosshair, and the borders are thicker than the center crosshairs. So I believe if I just hold on that bottom border right there, I should hit 200 yards exactly. So we're going to go ahead. I only have 15 rounds left. That was how much was left in the box. So I have more ammo if we got to shoot more, but this is just what I have for right now. All right, let's go ahead and try this. So try the big target first and work our way to the right. Oh, looks like it's hitting to the right. There we go. Alright, let's try the next target. Alright. So I'm actually aiming to the left, so maybe I might be a little bit to the right. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to try that 4-inch plate right there. That's going to be a small target. I don't know if I hit it or I hit the chain. Will you stop crawling on my gun? Now you're crawling on me. Huh? Will you stop crawling on my gun? There we go. That was a solid hit. This thing is extremely impressive. The fact that I was able to hit those small, tiny targets out there at 200 yards with crappy steel case ammunition. Oh, wow. Now, this thing right here is fully custom built. This is a Taran Tactical exclusive product. You're not going to find anything else out there like this on the market. So it's got a carbon fiber handguard, and it's just all custom put together. It's got all these cuts out here to lighten up the receiver. It makes it look really cool. It's got an ambidextrous bolt catch on the left and right side. However, I don't like that. I think just on the left side alone is perfectly fine for what I intend to use this rifle for. It's got a match grade trigger right here. Well, who even knows what match grade is? It's got a very light straight trigger that they put this little plastic nub on there to make it feel kind of like a traditional trigger. Okay, I don't know why they did that. It's like, go one way or the other. So it's got an ambi safety, which I don't like, but what I do like was with an ambi safety, it does have like the shortened safety on the right side. Some people, they like using their trigger finger to engage the safety. I personally don't. I use my thumb. So if you do want to use the right side safety, you can. I personally don't see any benefit to it. Now, we'll take this thing apart real quick and see what's going on the inside right here. This one right here, it's just a direct blowback bolt carrier group. It's direct blowback, it's fairly heavy, and it's got this heavy weight inside of it as well. So that's how that works right there. It's traditional charging handle. Right here you can see, I believe that's the ejector right there. And then this right here is when you insert the magazine. That's how it locks the bolt back to the rear. It engages the bolt catch right there. So that's where the follower engages the bolt catch. Let's go ahead and drop that. The buffer system is interesting. It's actually got a big heavy weight right there, and then it's got a hydraulic buffer. So here's the hydraulic buffer system right here, and you can see that right there just kind of pushes in. So that's what they're using for a buffer system. But it needs to have this added weight in there as well. And that right there, I think, is how they tuned it to be able to withstand that heavy bolt bouncing back and forth. So that's how that is all set up. Just gonna go ahead and put this back together. There. And this one right here has a flat side right there. That's the side that actually goes in flat. And then pushes in. And then we can put our charging handle in. And there's our bolt carrier. That goes in all the way. And there's that. And it's got this crazy muzzle brake on the end. And it's got a threaded barrel. I Loctited that thread protector on there because I don't ever intend to use that. I don't even know why that's there, but it's there, I guess. And it's got this crazy muzzle brake on the end, and it does pretty good job. Of course, I think most of the magic is all back here inside the receiver, as opposed to being out there. I mean, it's still a pretty thumpy gun. It does thump a little bit because it's a 9mm direct blowback. And it's not the stuff out here that's going to make a difference. It's the stuff inside here that's going to translate to the shooter feeling recoil. You know what? We got some ammo. Let's go ahead and throw a few more downrange. Last shot too. There's a shoot and see paper target down there. I wonder if I can group on it. Oh, I had one more round. Hang on. I pulled that one. All right. Let's go and take a look. I'm half surprised I even hit it at all. It's 200 yards. See how many hit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it's favoring the right a little bit, which I'm not entirely sure why, because there's no wind down here, so it shouldn't be a wind adjustment. But maybe the bullet's just curving to the right once it gets out here. Yeah. All right. Well, I had the bottom. That bottom wide bracket literally right here. So it's hitting just above it, probably maybe about 3-4 inches above it, and then slightly to the right. All right. So anyway, yeah. The fact that it's able to do that at all is pretty impressive. So that TR-9 is actually pretty accurate for a 9mm carbine. Let's play around with something a little bit closer. All right, 7 yards bill drill on that shoot and see right there. Let's go ahead and do this. All right. Okie doke. So, first shot was an 89, kind of slow, but yeah, See, we got a 17, a 16, sorry, a 17, 18, 18, 16, 16. Nice splits. Nice splits. Not bad. Not bad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. I call that a successful build drill. What was the total time again? Total time was 174. Okie doke. I mean, I've seen pistol shooters do better, but still, I mean, yeah. Just getting that sight picture. All right. We got 4 more shots. So let's do 2 and 2. I forgot to adjust this. So yeah, I was running on 4X the whole time. I was wondering why it's a little slow. 8-7 for the first shot. And just 16 split. Okay, whatever. Alright. So I kind of overdrove that a little bit. I went to the right and I overcorrected that going to the right there. So yeah, let's see if we can clean that up a bit. That was a 74 for the first shot and a 16 split. I underdrove it. I didn't go enough to the right. Yeah. First shot was a 63 and split was an 18. Let's go ahead and load up. I want to do one more build drill and see if I can get a bit of a faster time. I don't know. This thing does not want to lock back. That one actually was a 163. So first shot was still in the 0.8, which is not where I want to be. All right. So I kind of did the drill how I wanted it to be. So first shot was a 76, so a little bit faster. 17, 19, 15, 17, 17. And then the reload was a 330 to get my next shot. 24, 24, 52, and 19. So, all right. So overall, I mean, I think I'm mostly in here. That's not what I'm worried about. It's transition over here that I'm just not getting consistent on that transition to the left. I don't have a lot of experience with PCCs. I'm mostly a pistol shooter, so using optics is kind of weird for me, even like a rifle optic. So I'm playing around with it. Another nice thing about this optic right here, well, with most magnified optics, is you can actually adjust. You can actually adjust where the focus is and where the 1x focus is, and you can dial it in where you want it, and that's pretty cool. So this one uses a carbon fiber handguard, which is fairly lightweight. I haven't had any issues as far as heating is concerned, and so that's good. I have had handguards where they did get very hot on me to the point where I could not even touch them, like this right here after doing all that shooting, and it's still perfectly fine. This optic right here, really nice optic. I went with the Scalar Works 30 millimeter mounts, and this is a 1.57 mount, height mount. I didn't want to go to the 9.3 because the 9.3 I think is too tall for me, and also you're going to get a lot more height over bore. I want it down as low as I can so I did not have to overcorrect where my point of impact is going to be. Magpul grip, this one's the rubberized one. Very nice. I like that. I swapped out the BCM stock for a Magpul stock, so that just kind of makes it a more of a just grab and go rifle rather than a fully like adjustable, make the rifle fit you kind of situation, which I want it to be more of just a grab and go type of rifle. For PCC competition, I mean, this is a really, really accurate rifle for what it is. It's a 9mm carbine, but I'm able to reach out and hit targets at 200 yards relatively easy as long as I do my parts, even with very cheap off-the-shelf ammunition. And yeah, I mean, is it worth $2,800? I mean, this setup right here, you're looking at $2,800 for the rifle. You're looking at $400 for the mounts, and you're looking at about another $900 for the optic itself. That's quite a bit of money right there. But this is slightly cheaper setup than what I had originally with the ACOG. And the ACOG and the aim point on the side, it wasn't really doing it for me. It just was not doing it for me. I think this is a much better setup, much more simplistic, and it gives you a lot more options as far as different situations if you're going to be shooting up close or far enough away. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice shooting rifle. I've heard that there's better out there, but still, as far as like a custom built gun just for you, it's very nice option. I don't really have much in the way of complaints other than the fact that this thing has trouble locking the bolt back. I don't know if it's just because it needs to be cleaned. I just cleaned it yesterday. Maybe I didn't clean it enough. Maybe there might be some stuff still gunked up in there, but I'm having a lot of trouble with these Glock mags. These Glock mags just don't want to lock it back. See, now it just doesn't want to lock it back. So I don't know what it is. I really don't. And this is a Gen 5 mag, so that's not the issue. Maybe I'll just clean the mags up. Maybe that's the problem. But yeah, that's basically all I got for you. So make sure you stay out of trouble. And if you can't stay out of trouble, you didn't learn from me.
Wow.